Hello everybody and welcome to another video of the Rust Masterclass. Today we will be looking into basic data types and how to get input from user, a little bit into functions and pointers. Let's start. So in Rust we have two kind of data types, scalar and compound. So scalar are the ones that can have only a single value. So examples being integer, boolean, character, this type of variables. So for example, x is a type integer 32 and we assign a value 1. So it's a scalar because x can have a single value. In this case, that's 1. Now, as I told, there are other scalar variables like boolean, which can have either true or false. We have got floating points, so something like this, or we have char. So these are our scalar data types. Now we have something called compounds. The compounds, the examples of compounds are tuples. We represent this by parentheses. A tuple can have multiple values and the values can have different types. So we can have the first value being an integer 32, the second one being a character, the third one being a boolean. That's totally fine. And we can explicitly define the type like this. So by defining the type, we are telling that y is a tuple in which it will have three values, the first one being an integer 32, the second one being a char, and the third one being a boolean. Now we have arrays. So if we do this, Rust again implicitly assigns this data type. So we are telling that it will have 5 values of type integer 32. And let me show you one more thing. We cannot just print these compounds. So if we try to print the tuple here, we get an error because it is telling that this data type cannot be formatted with the default format. But yeah, we can always print the individual values. To access the value of a given index, we put a dot, then the index. So to get the first value, we put 0. So we should have 1 printed down. Ignore the warnings. So yeah, we have 1 printed out here. And similarly, if we want to access a value of the list, then we put the index in square brackets. So let's get the third element. So yeah, we have got the value printed here. Now let's try to get an input from the user and print it to the terminal. So in Rust, we have the Rust imports the necessary bare minimal functionalities into the code that's called prelude. Yeah, so this print ln and all these things are working because of that, but it doesn't import the standard input as part of the prelude. So we have to import that ourselves. In Rust, the libraries or packages are called crates. So to get functionality from a crate, we write use the name of this crate. So we are telling Rust that from standard crate, import the IO module. IO stands for input output. Now from the input output module, we get the standard in, and in standard in we have the read and readline function. So we use readline. Okay, let's first get a variable where we will store this value. So let x of type string, and we initialize a new string object. If you recall correctly, this shouldn't work because we will be assigning a new value here. So for that, we have to make x mutable. So here the buff is the buffer, or this is just a named variable that we have to pass the variable in which it will put the input from the user. So we have to write and &mut, then the variable. Okay, so this &mut basically we are passing x by reference here. So if we hadn't specified this, first of all it won't work, but basically in functions, if we just try to pass this will be passed by value. So basically we are creating a copy of x and passing it to the function, and if the function tries to change the value, it will work correctly, but the because we have created a copy of the x and it's in the scope of that function, so it will be changed in that scope, but globally the value won't change. I'll show you an example when we will discuss about functions, but yeah, we are passing it by reference using &mut. Let's try to print this. Print message equal to okay, ignore the warning for now. So as you can see, the cursor is blinking. It's waiting for my input. Let's write something. So yeah, we store the value please subscribe to x, and x gets printed. That's working totally fine. Now let's come into the warning here. So in Rust, this readline function, it's basically a result. Result can be if you are familiar with JavaScript, then result can be compared to promise, but result is synchronous, it's not asynchronous. So basically a result can either have a correct I mean it will happen correctly, or either it will produce an error. So it's telling that the result may be an error and we need to handle that. So to handle the error, we use Xpert and type a message or something. Now if we run this again, no more warnings. We will dive more into results later, not in this video. Okay, now let's try to understand functions. Let's create a new function which takes an value x of type integer 32. Let's print x. Change value of x to something 9. Print it again. Okay, this error is shown because x isn't mutable. We do x by adding the mutable operator here, and this should go away. Now let's create a new variable here, a. Let's make this mutable a of type integer 32. Let it be 1. Let's print this. Now let's call the function o, pass the value a here, and let's print it again. Okay, so first of all, we have assigned the value 1 to the variable a that gets printed in the first line. Then we run the function foo and we pass the value of a as in pass by value. So the value goes here, gets assigned to x. X gets printed and x was 1, so 1 was printed. Then we changed the value of x to 999 got printed, but because we had passed a by value, so this I mean x wasn't referencing to a at this moment, it was just a copy of a which was changed, but it died with the scope of the function, so a wasn't changed, so we get 1. Now let's do one thing. Let's change x to mut I32. So now we are telling that x is a reference to a variable whose type is integer 32. And this error is shown because now x is a pointer variable, and we cannot assign an integer 32 to this. To change the value of pointers, we put the star before the variable. Now that's totally fine, we fixed that, but now this warning came because we are trying to pass a by value, so we again write %mut a. So basically this creates a pointer of a, and this gets passed to x. Now x is pointing to a, and x is pointing to a, we are changing the value of x here, but because x is pointing to a, so a's value also gets changed. Okay, this won't work because x is a pointer variable. We need to put star to get the value printed. Hopefully this makes sense what I'm telling. First let's run this, I'll explain it again. Okay, let's recap this. So we a value got printed 1. Now we create a pointer pointing to a, so pointing to the value of a in the memory, so that address is a pointer variable, so this pointer is passed to x. Now x is a pointer pointing to the value of a. We print the value of the pointer x, and x was pointing to a, so we are basically printing the value of a, so 1 got printed. Now we are changing the value, I mean the pointer is pointing to a value, we are changing the value, we are changing that value to 999, and a was also pointing to that same value, so now a has also changed to 999. As you can see, this line 999 got printed. We could have gotten away with just reassigning a's by doing something like this. All same thing. Now we return x. Again, implicitly it will be assigned, but we just specify the return type of this function as integer 32. Now we pass by value, but we assign the value of this function to a. Let's run this. Okay, let's remove this warning first. It's basically telling that we haven't used the IO module. So yeah, now again a value got printed 1, then we pass the value of a by value, so we got x as 1, 1 got printed, we changed the value of x to 999, 999 got printed, then we returned the value 999 as the return value, and we assigned that value again to a, so a was changed to 999 and that got printed. Again, this only makes sense in this example, but when we need to use return and when we need to use pass by reference, that totally depends on the work that we want to do. Okay, yeah, so let's keep till now in this video. We will dive more into Rust in upcoming videos. If you like this video, please give a like, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment on how can I improve these videos, or if you have any doubts. And yeah, thanks for watching. Keep learning.